The air down there is cold, still heavy. In 1963, a man in Cappadocia, Turkey, was renovating his home. He knocked down a wall in his basement, expecting to find more stone. Instead, he felt a sudden rush of cold air, not from outside, but from below. As the dust settled, a dark, silent tunnel appeared, carved straight into the volcanic rock. There were no lights, no voices, just a profound silence stretching downward into the earth. Step by step, archaeologists descended nearly 280 feet underground, into a city built entirely by hand. They found thousands of rooms, massive stone doors weighing tons, and ventilation shafts that were, impossibly, still working. So why would ancient people choose to live this far beneath the surface? The answer lies in the unique landscape of Cappadocia, a region in central Turkey, shaped by volcanic eruptions millions of years ago. The soft volcanic tuff rock was easy to carve but strong enough to stand for centuries. Starting around the 8th century BCE, local civilizations, likely the Phrygians, began carving downward. Later, Byzantine Christians expanded this network, creating not just a bunker, but an entire underground city, Derinkuyu. At its deepest point, it reaches approximately 85 meters, or 280 feet, below ground. And this wasn't a small hideout. Archaeological surveys confirm it could shelter up to 20,000 inhabitants, complete with everything they needed: food storage rooms, wine presses, stables for livestock, churches, schools, and even wells that tapped into groundwater without connecting to the surface. Every level was deliberately planned. Narrow corridors forced intruders to move single file. Massive, circular stone doors could be rolled shut from the inside, sealing off sections of the city. Air shafts ran from the surface all the way to the deepest levels, supplying fresh oxygen. This wasn't a temporary refuge. It was designed for long-term habitation. And that raises a terrifying question. What were they so afraid of? The first clue comes from science. The volcanic tuff of Cappadocia has a rare combination of softness and stability. Modern engineers studying Derinkuyu confirmed the rock absorbs shock, making it surprisingly earthquake-resistant. At 280 feet underground, the temperature remains a stable 55 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. No freezing winters, no scorching summers. In a pre-industrial world, that stability meant survival. Then there's the ventilation system. Over 50 vertical air shafts, some more than 180 feet deep, supplied oxygen throughout the city. Modern tests show that the airflow still functions naturally, driven by pressure differences between the surface and the depths. Food preservation was another key advantage. The constant cold temperature and humidity slowed spoilage, and archaeologists found evidence of grain silos and fermentation rooms carved directly into the walls. But science alone doesn't explain the sheer scale of Derinkuyu. This wasn't just smart architecture, it was defensive engineering at its most extreme. The city could be sealed level by level. The wells were designed so enemies couldn't poison the water supply from above. Even smoke from cooking fires was vented invisibly to the surface through clever channels. Everything points to one unavoidable conclusion. Living underground wasn't a choice. It was a necessity. History provides the final, chilling piece of the puzzle. Between the 7th and 10th centuries, Cappadocia sat directly in the path of repeated, brutal invasions: Persian raids, the Arab-Byzantine wars, and later Mongol incursions. Surface villages were burned to the ground. Populations were slaughtered or enslaved. Written Byzantine records describe entire communities disappearing during attacks, only to re-emerge weeks later, seemingly from nowhere. Derinkuyu made that possible. When danger approached, families would descend with their livestock, seal the massive stone doors behind them, and wait in total darkness. No fires, no noise, just breath, whispers, and the slow, agonizing passage of time. The deepest levels were reserved for civilians, women, children, and the elderly. The upper levels were designed to be abandoned first. If invaders managed to break in, they would find themselves trapped in a maze of narrow corridors, attacked from hidden shafts above, or forced into a dead end. Archaeologists found evidence of prolonged habitation. Soot-stained ceilings from torches, steps worn smooth by countless feet, and repaired walls. These people didn't hide for a few hours. They stayed for weeks, or even months, at a time. Imagine living 280 feet underground, listening for footsteps far above you, knowing that if your hidden city was discovered, escape was impossible. This wasn't just fear. It was a survival strategy perfected over generations. Somewhere in those tunnels, Handprints still mark the wall's silent proof that history isn't always written above ground. When modern engineers mapped Derinkuyu, they were stunned. Laser scans revealed at least 18 subterranean levels, though only 8 are open to the public today. Structural modeling confirmed the city was built incrementally expanded, reinforced, and adapted over centuries. Even more shocking, seismic tests showed the underground chambers may actually be safer during an earthquake than surface buildings. The soft rock absorbs vibrations instead of amplifying them. The water systems were equally sophisticated. Wells extended directly into underground aquifers, completely independent of the surface. If enemies poisoned the rivers and streams above, the residents below would survive untouched. Carbon residue analysis confirmed a controlled ventilation system that allowed fires for cooking and light to burn without suffocating occupants, even at extreme depths. Nothing about this city was accidental. Every inch was calculated without modern tools. No steel, no concrete, no electricity. Just human planning, patience, and fear-driven innovation. And Derinkuyu wasn't alone. Archaeologists have identified over 200 underground complexes across Cappadocia, some connected by miles of tunnels. This wasn't one desperate experiment. It was a regional underground civilization. This leads to a chilling realization. For these people, living above ground had become more dangerous than living beneath it. When Derinkuyu first opened to the public, visitors struggled to breathe in it because of the air quality, but because of the intense claustrophobia. Modern humans can panic after just minutes underground, yet ancient families lived entire seasons there. Children were born there, elders died there. Anthropologists studying the site note the psychological adaptation required. The narrow spaces reduced exposure, the silence prevented detection, and the darkness preserved anonymity. Survival literally rewired the human mind. What shocks researchers most isn't the engineering. It's the incredible discipline. There is no graffiti, no signs of chaos or mass panic. The city functioned under unimaginable pressure. Imagine choosing to step downward while the world burned above you. Choosing darkness over daylight, stone over sky. These people didn't see underground life as unnatural. They saw it as the only safe version of reality. And that forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Human progress isn't always about building higher. Sometimes, survival means going deeper. Today, Derinkuyu stands silent. The stone doors no longer roll. The air still moves, waiting for people who will never return. Archaeologists agree on how it was built, when it was used, and who lived there. But one question remains unanswered. How extreme must the danger be for an entire civilization to choose a life 280 feet underground? Because Derinkuyu wasn't fear-driven madness. It was rational, efficient, and meticulously planned. And that means the surface world they fled from was worse than anything we can fully imagine. The city remains as a reminder that humanity adapts, not just with tools, but with sacrifice, with silence, and with darkness. What would you choose? The open sky with its dangers, or absolute safety underground? Tell me what shocked you most about Derinkuyu in the comments. And if this hidden city changed how you see ancient intelligence. Make sure you're subscribed, because our next story uncovers another real place where history vanished. Not forward in time, but straight down. Thanks for watching.